Hello again everybody, and welcome back for my third and final video here on Catalina Island, where I'll be talking all about the two harbors, which is the narrowest point on the entire island, being only half a mile wide. For your expectations, it's a very different place than Avalon, from being more for nature, hiking, and camping lovers. You'll find more island foxes on the trails, and no doubt hear the quail and all of their calling noises. One of the most recognizable buildings are the big red ones that are used by the local yacht club, and were once used as barracks by the Union troops when they were stationed here in 1864 during the American Civil War, then again during World War II by the US Coast Guard, and even in the 1920s and 30s to house film crews, as the island was very attractive for making movies. The east side is Cat Harbor, where the water is turquoise, and the west side is the Isthmus Cove, which is the side you'll be arriving and leaving from. On the beach is a line of sun lounging chairs with cabana rentals that include sofas and couches inside, which only started, I believe, in the year 2017. The visitor services are at the very start of the pier, along with the recreational office, where you can rent kayaks, mountain bikes, and snorkeling gear. I rented a kayak and paddled to the Blue Cavern Sea Cave. That's about a 30-minute paddle one way, and one of the area's top kayaking destinations. You can't miss how big it is, and going inside you can see how blue the water can be. You can also go through this little tunnel that leads out another way, but I highly advise you to bring a flashlight because it gets pretty dark and you don't want to risk hitting your head. It's also a popular place for the jet ski to Catalina company, which leaves from Long Beach, I believe, at least a few times a week. It's the first stop they make, where they get off and actually swim through the cave, and then to the two harbors for a few hours to do whatever they want. They also have a few different tours going to Avalon, and if you're brave enough to try this, I have their website also in my description. There's also the Two Harbors General Store, where you'll find camping gear, sleeping bags, pillows, and lots of other essentials, including rows and rows of groceries, cooking and barbecue equipment, and in one corner is a big section full of souvenir shirts, hats, mugs, etc. They also make and serve whole pizzas and a good selection of thrifty ice cream flavors. Nearby are a bunch of lockers, restrooms, a place to do laundry for all the campers, and two great restaurants that I'll be mentioning more later on. If you're coming from Avalon, the only way is by boat, which you can take the open air cyclone that departs almost daily in the summer months at the end of the Green Pleasure Pier. It's about 14 miles, a 45-minute ride, and a good way to see a lot of the island's coves and small beaches. Otherwise, your only other option is taking the Catalina Express, which you can also take from the city of San Pedro on the mainland. That takes a little over an hour. Now, the one and only hotel in the entire area is the Banning House Lodge, that's located on a small hill and only has either 12 or 13 rooms. It was originally built as a hunting lodge in the year 1909 and has been a bed and breakfast since the year 1998. The lodge room has that campfire and bonfire-like smell as soon as you walk in, from the fireplace always burning wood. There's also a bison and other animal stuffings on the wall with a few chandeliers. It's greatly furnished with big windows everywhere, and you can also go upstairs to this little floor and look out towards Cat Harbor. They have board games and cards on the shelves. Then outside is a big patio with some furniture and sofas that give you views of both harbors and some of the homes and buildings in the distance. Then they have this room where every evening from 5 to 6 they serve complimentary wine with some grapes, crackers, and a few different kinds of cheese. And then every morning they serve pastries, cinnamon rolls, and muffins. There's also complimentary shuttles to and from the boats, especially if you're packing heavy or have lots of luggage, because it is a long set of steps and a steep uphill. As for the rooms, I stayed one night in the Cliff House with two more big windows where I had these views of Cat Harbor all to myself. The bed was very comfortable. I found everything clean. It has another room with an extra pull-out bed in the closet, and then outside were these two sun lounging chairs. The cheapest room you can probably get is the basic king room, which has a lot of the same traits as the Cliff House in terms of a comfortable bed and cleanliness, except I found the bathroom to be a bit bigger. On On a final note, the staff were great, they know their history very well, were fun to talk to, had a great sense of humor, they really made me feel at home, and overall I would really love to come back. Other than this, your only other option are the 48 campsites that are all about a 10-minute slide uphill walk from the pier. If you're packing heavy, the Catalina Island Company can haul up your luggage for $9, and that also includes going back down. The campsites are all located by letters, and you can pick a site either by the water next to the boats or at the top of the hill with higher views. All of them include fire pits, picnic tables, and inside the cottages are 6 cots. A lamp, a stove, and a footlocker are the only items provided. Everything else you gotta bring, and if you need anything, the general store will most likely have it. Nearby there's porta potties, hand sanitizing, water stations, and trash cans. If that's not comfortable for you, there's always the bathrooms down by the lockers and showers. The Two Harbors has only 2 restaurants that both have very good reviews that I want to add. The first is the West Galley that will be your only breakfast and lunch option. Here's the lunch menu that I'll show you very fast, and if you want to press the pause button, the Harbor Reef Burger is probably the most popular, which tasted great, and you can add extra patties if you're extra hungry. Then in second place, I recommend the 2 crispy codfish tacos on corn tortillas with pico de gallo. The restaurant next to it is the Harbor Reef that has a big outside bar during the day. This is also the restaurant where the iconic and famous buffalo milk cocktail was invented. That's one of the island's top things to do for first-time visitors. Lots of restaurants in Avalon serve them, but it was here at the Harbor Reef restaurant where the cocktail was invented. Then at night, the inside area opens that also has a big bar in the back with 2 pool tables being right behind them. Their menu is also full of different steaks, pastas, burgers, sandwiches, etc. For burgers, I suggest trying their Parsons Pub made with blue cheese, bacon, onions, and mushrooms. If you want pasta, then I suggest trying their shrimp scampi made with tomato, spinach, and mushrooms. My dessert recommendation is their pizookie that's vanilla ice cream on top of this chocolate chip cookie that's all drizzled with chocolate sauce. As for the hiking trails, you can find maps of them on the bulletin board just outside the visitor center where they tell you the distance and other details. A popular hike that was my favorite was the Upper Ballast Point, aka the Cat Harbor Overlook, that's just over 1,000 feet high with a picnic table and gazebo being at the very end and on top of the mountain. The majority of the hike is uphill, but the views you have of both harbors are so worth the trip. You can also see up and down the coastline of the island's backside. The hike is a little over 4 miles round trip, and the starting point will be at this dirt parking lot located across from the playground and benches and right before the red buildings of the yacht club. You'll take the Banning House Road for about a mile until you'll come across this sign that says the Cat Harbor Overlook Road. After taking that up, you'll find this fence which you'll follow all the way to the very end. That's about another 15-minute walk. Hike number 2 is the hammocks hike on the other side. That's a bit more of a challenge in my opinion, from the trails being much steeper, and was even more of a challenge going downhill, but you have a much closer and scenic view of both harbors as you're going up and along the ridge. The entrance is over at Cat Harbor, where you'll notice a small dirt trail to the right that's across from these 2 cacti. You'll come across this fork in the road, stick to your right again, and you'll soon come across this gate where you can go around and then take the trail all the way up the mountain that takes roughly 20 to 30 minutes. When you get to the top, make a right where the trail leads you all along the ridge and then a different way back down to the bottom. Hike number 3 is a popular coastal hike that starts right above the Isthmus Cove where you can get these panoramic views of the beach and the boats. There's no up and down hills you gotta worry about, and it's part of the long and famous Catalina Trail that's about 38 miles. If you're up for it, this restroom with a trash can is only 3 miles one way and at the very end of an area called Cherry Creek Cove, which is just 2 coves over from the Isthmus. The cove in between them is the 4th of July Cove that takes maybe 15 minutes to go through and then another 15 to pass through Cherry Creek Cove. Both coves also have condemned and boarded up mines along the trails since Catalina had lots of active mines after silver was discovered in the year 1863. As for the annual events, if I had to pick only one event to go to the entire year, it would no doubt be the Buccaneer Days that goes on for about 3 to 4 days every October, where almost everybody are dressed like pirates and buccaneers. The harbor is completely full of boats, and almost all of them have pirate flags raised. They make a great first impression coming in by boat, and when you arrive, you'll notice all the nice decorations on the pier. They also did a good job decorating the Harbor Reef restaurant with chandeliers, pirate flags, and skeletons on the ceiling. A lot of people throw their own parties during the day on their boats. If you don't have one or don't know anybody that does, the island company organizes a treasure hunt and other games available. It starts getting crowded around 3 o'clock when the DJs and bands start performing. You can also register in the costume contest, which they have awarded a few different categories, including Best Pirate, Best Wench, Most Unique, and Best Group. It's completely alive at night, and the bands play until either midnight or 1 a.m. Both restaurants are open until late, and then the West Galley has a big breakfast buffet in the mornings. To come to the Buccaneer Days, it's very important that you buy and reserve your tickets online, along with the 3 other events that go on from late spring to early fall. These include the Wine Fest being number 1, the Brew Fest being number 2, and lastly, the Beach Brew and Barbecue being number 3. Both the Wine and Brew Fest have around 15 to 20 tents of different wineries and breweries that come from different areas of California. They both go on for a few hours, have live music with a few all-you-can-eat food buffets, and general admission is a little over $100. At the Brew Fest, they barbecued these giant turkey legs, and they had other smaller trays of fruit, cheese, and crackers. At the Wine Fest, my favorite food no doubt were the bacon-wrapped dates that I kept going back for, along with the coconut shrimp, and they also had more trays of salami, prosciutto, cheese, and fruit. As for the Beach Brew and Barbecue, 2025 was the first year it started. It was a little smaller and less crowded than expected, but still had some of the same features with live music and lots of food. They roasted a big fat pig over the fire pit, and was my favorite event regarding the food quality and the very tender meat ranging from ribs, tacos, brisket, potato salad, corn, and beans. General admission was just under $100 with all you can eat for free, and the only thing you had to pay extra for was the beer. So this is the end of my 2 Harbors video and my video series here on Catalina Island. I would like to thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for some more travel videos I have planned real soon.